Once upon a time there was an old lady, an old woman. She was 80 years old. The old woman went to the garden, collected a whole dish of beans and decided to cook them. Here, he thinks, I'll cook some beans and have lunch. She lit the stove and threw a bundle of straw into the fire to make it burn better. And then she began. That's where it all started. As she was pouring the beans into the pot, one bean fell to the floor. He fell down and lies next to the straw. And here, on the floor, a hot coal jumped out of the stove. Here's the straw that says, "Dear friends, how are you here?" Said Sooty, "I'm from the stove. If I hadn't jumped out of there," and Bob says, "and I was lucky enough to fall here. Otherwise, I would have had to turn into a mess like my other bean buddies." And the straw says, "And I'm glad I didn't hit the stove, but I'm lying here." "Well, what are we going to do now?" asked Ember. "I think," Bob said, "that's what I think. Let's go travel." And they went together, Bob, Straw, and Ember. To travel. We walked for a long time and came to a stream. The stream is small, narrow, and it is difficult to cross it. There is no bridge. What should I do? I thought the straw and said, "Here's what we'll do. I'll jump from bank to bank, and you'll cross." So they did. A straw was thrown from bank to bank, and the first to run on it was Ember. It runs like a bridge. I ran to the middle and heard the water splashing below. He became afraid. He stopped and screamed, "I'm afraid of water! I'm afraid of water!" And as he stood there screaming, the straw caught fire, broke in two, and flew into the stream. The coal also fell into the water, hissed, "I'm drowning, save me," and went to the bottom. And Bob was more careful. He stayed on the beach. I stayed on the beach, and let's laugh at the coal and the straw. He laughed and burst out laughing. It would have been bad for him, but, fortunately for him, there was a traveling tailor sitting on the shore. The tailor took out the thread and sewed both halves of the bean. And since the tailor had no white thread with him, he sewed the bean with black thread.